welcome back to the channel. Vasila Built for Speed, and today we're gonna have a video with this bad boy. So this right here is a 2016, I believe, Mitsubishi Fuso Canter. It has the 3-liter 4-cylinder engine, and today we're going to talk about the common oil leaks on this, because to be honest, I couldn't find any videos. And I bought this car. I was sitting for 2 years and I had a few oil leaks and I had to get addressed. So a few things I learned, so I'm going to share with you guys, and I'm going to, as I learn about this vehicle, I'm going to try to post YouTube videos so to help you guys out. Okay, so first things first, if you guys did an oil change yourself, or you had some shop do any oil changes on this, and all of a sudden you see oil kind of underneath the oil filter area, most likely it's your oil filter. Why I say that? Because I put an aftermarket oil filter from just a regular oil at the auto parts store, and the seal that they use is garbage. The only ones that doesn't leak so far from my experience is original. So make sure you get the Mitsubishi oil filter with the Mitsubishi O-ring. That way you will not have any oil leaks from that section. Second, look in this is high pressure fuel pump area. If you see any oil leaks around the shafts here or around this area, if you see some oil underneath this or around here, there's a rod that goes through basically on the power steering pump, and it goes all the way through the case, to the timing chain case. So if you see any oil leaks, you're gonna have to get somebody that can basically take those bolts and the pins, or whatever you want to call those, that go through, and actually reseal them, because it will push oil out of there. But to be honest, if it's not really major, doesn't leak really bad, I would leave this alone, because this is something that's, even if it's fixed, there's a 50-50 chance with higher RPM, especially if you have the FE 180 with short gearing, you will still see some oil here and there. So it's a little bit, I don't know if it's even worth it, to be honest. Unless it's a big oil leak, then you want to address it. If it's just little that you notice, once a week or something like that, it'll drop, I would leave it alone. But that's another common issue. So if you see somewhere around this area, around these bolts, those studs have to be resealed. Lastly, that I can think of, with this cover off, around your injectors, around the injectors in a valve cover area, if you see oil there, that's not your injectors, that's your valve cover leaking. And in order to do that, as you can see, basically the camshafts, they go through the valve cover, so the chain needs to be pulled off for the valve cover to come up, and the valve cover gasket to be replaced with the injector seals around them there. So there's no other way around it. So because I think this had an oil leak and people changed the injectors thinking that was the injectors leaking, they were not. They were injector seals, but they're part of the valve cover gasket. So if you see oil around your injectors or in the whole injector hole, that's your valve cover gasket needs to be replaced with the injector seals around it. So you need to take it to the shop, or you can take it off, but this valve cover with the camshaft needs to come up, the chain needs to be taken off. I believe it does, at least that's from what I was told, and that needs to get changed. So when you change the valve cover gasket, it comes with a kit with the injector seals around it. So but in order to change those, you need the valve cover basically to come up, which has the camshaft. So it's a pain to do. If you haven't worked on these, better not to tackle it, to be honest. Also, forgot to mention that when you see oil around your injector seals, you will probably, if you have this cover, you'll probably notice it behind the motor here, in this little thing right here, the groove, and you will see it start coming here and then around this area on top of the transmission. So if you see something here, take this cover off and look around your injector seals. If you have oil around, look at your injectors. If you have oil around the injectors, your valve cover with injector seal set needs to get done. So you need to do the valve cover gasket and the injector seals at the same time. So yeah, that's basically I had the actual rods, or whatever you want to call those, the bolts, studs leaking, and I had the valve cover injector seals leaking when I bought the truck. So I had to get those addressed. There's a power steering pump down there that may have an oil seep now for me, but I'm gonna ignore it. But the power steering pump, but I think it's oil leaking through the stud to the power steering pump mount stud, It's not very bad, it's very minimal, so I'm gonna leave it alone for now. And another thing, not related to the oil leaks, but if you hear some hissing sound or like whistling sound, that's probably these guys. You need really good clamps. So like you see here, I doubled up on them because they keep sliding off. Some of the weaker clamps, they will come off. Like some of these clamps, I could put one and it wasn't enough, so I put two of them on each one. This one, it seems like it was enough. I tightened it. These are Mercedes clamps. They tend to hold pretty good, it seems like, but yeah, that's another thing that's very, very common on these, is these sliding off. So something to keep an eye out for. Another problem I encountered when I bought this truck is the actual blade, and I heard it's a popular issue. The actual the fan blades, they broke off, literally shattered. That could be because this truck wasn't driven much within the 2-year period, and it just kind of got brutal and shattered. So I had to change this because this got entangled into there when it broke. And yeah, so that's another thing to kind of be wary of, or just pay attention to the fan itself and see if you have some broken parts. Probably better to change it, because when it shatters, there's no guarantee that it won't puncture your radiator. Also, when you have oil leaks, it's better to make sure you change your PCV filter, because the PCV filter is supposed to get changed every about 15,000 miles. So it's right under there. There's a bunch of videos, or at least 1 or 2 videos online that shows you how to change those. I will make a video when I go to change it. When I had my oil leaks fixed, I had the shop basically service my transmission. I can show you guys how to check the level and change the oil there when I do that too. And then I had them change my PCV filter, so I don't need to do it now, but once I go to do it, I will show you guys how to do that. And then yeah, on these, the Fuso from 2014 I believe to 2017 or 18, it's all the same. The 4P10 motors, they're basically, they will go the same from 14 to 17 or 18 years. Should be the same transmission, motors and that kind of thing, and all that stuff. So it should be about the same. The gearing I think changes. I don't think the transmission changes, to be honest, but the only thing that changes between them is the gearing in the rear diff. All right, well, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you guys have any questions or comments, comment in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. See you next time. Peace.